Hello, my name is Jordan, and today we are back in NIMBY Rails. You'll have to excuse me if my voice is a little bit odd today. I am not feeling 100%, and I may need to clear my throat a bit. I'll try and take care of some of that in post, but it's not really avoidable, unfortunately. All right, so today we are finally building out this Seattle line. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. We've done all of this pre-work, so let's go ahead and just pick up from some of the places that we had already built. 300. Now remember, we're going to try and run this at 200. So anywhere that has a speed over 200 is fine for us. So I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump over here and then tunnel under this area, try and come out right here and then join up. So let's start with that. We're going to need let's do this. Switch to there. All right. Right, like that. Bring it back. 177. There we go. All right. Like this. Now I think we can reasonably get it to about here or so. 350, and 350. We're still good. And now we're going to switch it to a tunnel. Let's bring it straight through. Okay. Right to about there. Switch it to ground. And remember, anything above 200, and we are doing fine. And that looks just perfect. Okay, so this is going to be how we get through this section. And we're going to have to do some viaduct at this point. So let's just do that. And that looks fine. Now we're going to be over here at Macintosh. Now this curve is going to present us with a couple of issues. So I think we're going to viaduct this as well. Right about to here. And then we want to get the other side in place if we can. This looks acceptable. Okay. So now we're gonna viaduct across the we want maybe something a little more like this. Like this. There we go. Switch back to ground, and we should be able to connect this in. Yeah. So this is maybe not the way that it would be done in real life, but we're paying a little bit extra to have something that's a little bit nicer for us. All right. Connect this in. Gonna have to viaduct across this probably. No? Excellent. All right, let's move this down and then connect it in. All right, like this and like this. Comes in pretty close. Let's pull it just a little bit, right like this. There we go. 239, 350, and 350, so we're good. Now, getting through Rainier, just going to continue. It's lovely when you have these excellent corridors. Okay, now this is going to be harder to do. 200. Okay, we're not going to be able to avoid that, although we can cross this without an overpass. Maybe we should. We definitely should. We should get on the other side of this. Okay, so let's do this and this. So this is going to be a small section below 200. There's going to be plenty of opportunity for the train to make that time up later. Now we want to start turning a bit early here, so that we can keep our nice gentle speeds. Go. And we want to make it up into Yelm. From Yelm, we're going to try and go to the right here. So let's bring it down from this direction. Now, it looks like it's actually on the other side. So let's bring these over here, bring this over here. And then, yes, we already have it selected. Okay. Now, yes, it just goes straight through. So just straight across. And let's see if we can get it into the right location. Maybe we want it on the other side. Yeah, we want it on the other side over here. Okay. All right. And this will be pretty straightforward. This curve is soft enough that we're not going to run into any real issues. Just bring it straight down, right like this. And 207, 123. Let's see how we can modify this a little bit. So let's see if we can get 200. That's fine. That's fine. 350. Now this is too much. Right, like this. Okay. And that actually improved some of our others as well. Excellent. All right. Now from up here, we want a way, so that would take us north, but we want to go over towards Graham. So it might actually be better. Where do we want to go through here? Okay. Let's do this right here. This'll be our initial line out. So we'll do this. We'll try and extend this straight through. Get that. Okay. And so to handle this, what we're going to end up doing is something like this and something like this. And then something like this. It's not going to give it to us. Okay. So then get rid of that one. Bring up here, here. And we're just going to move this like this. There we go. Connect those in. That bend is a little bit weird, so I'm gonna, yeah. There we go. That is a much more realistic bend through there. Okay. Now, we're just going to presume that most of this is pretty sparsely populated land, which is going to afford us the ability to kind of cut a little bit. Now, getting past this river right here, I think we're going to want to do this. And this. And we actually need an overpass over this one. Well, that could be problematic. All right, so we're going to have to do some back and forth through here, just to get around some of these rivers and roads. Now let's go over here. We're going to start coming down. Just straight away. All right. We want to get through those overpasses before we make any kind of turn. So we're going to try and make a turn like this so that we can take this waterway at a bit of a better angle. But we have these here. Okay. Let's move it just a tad. Like that. That, and we're through. Now, the bigger challenge is going to be right here. Yeah, see, that's going to drop us down quite a bit. But still above 200. So this little bend we have right here, this is due to this road, so we can't move it too much, but we can move it a little. Okay. Okay, that's acceptable. Now let's bring it. Yes, this was the point at which we run into this road. So let's bring this here. And we're going to viaduct. Just straight through here. And we should be able to just cross the rest of these. So we can stop viaducting. Yeah. Through here. Through there. Okay. And we're going to make a turn, I think. Okay, so let's see where this takes us. If we go straight through and straight through, well, that actually takes us on a pretty good line. We can get on the other side of that intersection. But that, yeah, that one's not going to be kind to us. So let's bring it to right there. And what we want to do is we want to get something like this. I don't think we're going to be able to do that without viaducting. We're going too directly here. And this is gonna complain about us. Well, so we might actually be able to. We bring this over here and get down to 216. Bring this down to 212. Now we have the ability to turn back this way and get across like this. Yes, there we go. Now, okay, right like this. Do that. 119, that's just insanely slow. Okay. And we're just going back and we're adjusting however much we can. Okay, so right there about is our maximum. Let's bring this back like this, this. Okay, 178 and 149, and then we can do this. All right, and now these are about the same. They're just a little below 200. And we can, okay, and we can grab this and kind of bring it straight up. And that'll give us a better line on this. 184, 178, 247. We're good. Let's bring it straight up. And what we're going to do, is this, and this. Okay, and I think right about okay. So what we're going to do is we are going to move this over here, and we're going to set this up to be double tracked. Okay. Like that. And we're going to join into this left track. Right like that. And we're going to do that by going underground. So I think we are going to hit the underground right away. Oh. Come here. Okay. Now let's check 300, 300. Okay, so we're good with speeds. And now we just bring it in and directly connect it. And that's almost perfect. 288. Yeah. And this one, if we want, can continue on later to here. So for the moment, we're only going to bring our line up, but we'll try and keep it with enough space for double tracking. Okay, so we're going to need a viaduct here. And once we get into Seattle proper, things are actually going to improve and be much easier. And the reason for that is that Seattle actually has a quite, as we saw during the planning phase, has a very nice rail right-of-way. Okay. And I'm just giving us, trying to reduce the amount of track that has these bad speeds on it. Okay. So right into there, and there's enough space for double tracking there. Okay. Now, what I am gonna do is, in order to get into this, I am going to tunnel into the viaduct. So I'm going to tunnel up to here. And the reason for that is that we're double tracking, right? So this track on the right is actually going to turn left, and the track on the left is going to turn right. And we're on the track on the left right now. So bring that over just a tad. So that means that we're going to need to get over the other track. And in order to do that, we are going to switch it to underground so that we're tunneling under where the other track will be. Excellent. All right. Now right like this, and right like, okay. Do that. There we go. Straight up. Straight up to here, and then from here, we are going to switch from tunnel to viaduct. And you can do this, you don't have to go to ground in between. You can go straight from one to the other. We want to move this over to here so that we stay at least slightly in the area that makes sense. Okay, right up past the stadium and the elementary school, and like this. And now this is going to be a unkind curve, but we're not gonna be able to get away from that, because what we're gonna do is this and this. You see it's gonna drop quite a bit, but this is gonna be for a very small section, and we will be able to live with that. Okay. Though that is less than ideal. Okay. So what we need is we need more segments. And so the endpoints need to be, in order for you to get a good curve, the endpoints need to be about equidistant from the center of the curve. You see, we get a better point like that, but you want the actual point in the curve. So we're also going to move this over here, and we're going to move this over here. And we want This 162, 191. I think we'll be able to live with that. So we're leaving space for double tracking, and now this is the track on the right. So we want it to be over here. And a little bit more to the right, right there. Switch to here, and we just start going down. So line it up. There we go. Get across. We want to stay to the right. Okay, so we need to viaduct here. Okay, we're looking good so far. Get across. And so we still need to stay, we'll stay to the right of the left, if that makes any sense. Okay. Come up through here. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Let's just check where we are. All right. Right through here is where the airport is. So we're coming up on that point. We're zooming in to make sure that we're leaving the double tracking room. Double tracking is not something that people really need to do that often. We're doing it here because it's going to make it easier to manage direction, more so than because it's going to make it easy for us to manage quantity. Usually double tracking is done to manage traffic. For instance, allowing tracks to be used by multiple different routes at the same time. That's a little bit hard if it's single tracked. But something to keep in mind is that double tracking usually means one track next to another track, but that's actually what this tool does. So we're already double tracking according to the actual industry meaning, just by laying a single track here. Single tracking would be what you typically see for like streetcar loops, where there's literally only a single track. And there's not really a way to do that in this game, which actually is sort of an issue for some setups when you do a tram. But overall, double tracking, again, as I'm using it here, refers to the number of tracks we're building instead of the number of tracks that are there. So we want 2 tracks built so that in the future it makes it easier for us to split directions and so on. Okay. So that is a little bit odd, actually. So I guess we have to do that. Where are we going here? Okay, so this would be, I think this is the direction we're going to go. 285. 350. Okay, so we're going to be fine. And the reason I wanted to go to the right is it's going to give us more space for us to make this turn. So we don't have to make that turn as sharply. The further to the right you are, the more you can turn to the left. And the more to the left you are, the further you can turn to the right. It has to do with the radius of the curves that the track makes. Which actually you can see in the tool. So you can see right here the R number next to the bottom point. That's the radius of the circle that the curve belongs on. The smaller that radius, the slower the train has to go. So we, generally speaking, want to keep that radius large whenever we can. So you see radius of about 4 kilometers. This one has a radius of about 1 kilometer, 2. Okay, 2. I have to zoom in a bit. Okay, so we'll have a small section here of slower track. All right. Now where do we want to go through here? I suppose just straight across right here. So we'll do this, and this, and that. Okay. And we are almost to Seattle. Didn't grab it from the right point. Okay. Right like that. And here is our airport, which we might remember is a good landmark for where we are in the whole process. So we are gonna fit him right through there. You know what? No, that was kind of a stupid idea. We are going to pull this on the other side and pull these right here and pull that right there. There's still room to add another track over there, which is the thing I was thinking about. Okay, so we're going to get to our entry point into the Seattle Underground relatively soon here. Let's check where we are. Yes. So we don't actually want to turn right here. We want to go straight. So what we'll do is we'll make it turn right, and then we'll pull a branch off. So right like this. Okay. Pull straight. All right, let's just do this with some viaduct. I don't want to mess around with that. Okay, and switch back. Okay, and then straight up through there. Looks good to me. Okay. Straight across. Okay, got it. Straight across. Just like this. Okay, and our station, our underground station, mind you. Oh yes, there was another update, and these have been kind of improved. So our station, your station's going to be right about here. 350. Excellent. Perfect. Now we have Seattle all the way out to about Centralia built. Centralia is the halfway point. This is about the halfway point of the build. So this is where we're going to end it for today. Next time, we will go ahead and we will complete our build, including connecting it into the Portland City Center. And then we will create the line and see what sorts of unique challenges you face when you try and run much, much longer lines. We'll see how the trains perform, and we'll see a bit about the performance of our checkbook. All right. Well, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.